Today we're going to be working on another expansion, the lever tannery. Now, it is a rather big structure, so it's going to be very tight in this corner. I'm going to be using oak logs this time to give a little bit of variation, and I just have to count out the correct spacing of this. So as you can see, it'll be very close to the path here, but it should still fit in fine, as about half of the actual production is supposed to be on the outside of the building anyways, so it shouldn't be any big problem. So, now that we have this marked out, I'm just going to dig out the floor. Part is going to be full stone brick, the other part is going to be a mix of stone brick and actual spruce planks for the entryways. But yes, this is apart from like the actual metalworking, this is the last major upgrade to the town, well, village. After this phase, this village will become technically a town, because we will start working on residential instead of just survival. Always have to keep the entryways, and we'll fill in the bricks here. So, this entryway will be completely fine for the most part. There we go. And all of this will be brick because this is going to be where you're working with raw hide, and also treating the hide. We're going to raise these up 3. Now, this is a rather flat roof type of building. I'm going to do my best to give it the peaked look that this area has, but for the most part, the majority of it is going to be flat. I'm going to use the log tie-in method again to just link it to the rest of the builds around here. And I'm going to continue bringing the logs across, just so everything is tied up together. And 2 up here as well, just to give the proper spacing, because if you're not aware, treating hide to turn into leather smells a lot, so you want a flat roof over the main area that has a good opening in the roof, so you can actually have some ventilation. There we go. Stone brick windows and a stone brick divider between the entryway. And I'm going to bring just logs across the top of the roof to tie it in. Okay, so we need a smooth stone scraping station, and then we need a indoor pool here. And this is going to be our tannin pool. This is going to be where we actually do the final step of the process. And of course, all of the first and final steps are going to be inside the building, because they have the highest effect on the actual quality of the product in the end. There we go. I'm going to swap this out for a wooden floor, so it looks like it's one continual wooden basin, and then I'm going to fill it up with water. Let me just grab it. Now, there's no way to dye water in Java Edition that you can in, like, Bedrock, so I'm gonna have to be a little creative with that. But let's get some item frames. So, for the scraping station, I'm gonna have a knife, and then 2, and I'll show you in a second, 2 rabbit hides, specifically, because they look like an untreated animal hide. See, they look like a paled actual skin color, and in the item frames they look to be about the same size as other items like actual leather would be, so it's not as much of a problem. And now we're going to work on the outside. So the first step is scraping the hide. For the rest of the steps, we're going to be using a Dutch method, which is the 3-point method. And I'm going to put a little retaining wall here, just so we can have a gravel floor. But yes, the Dutch 3-point method, which is soaking the hide after scraping it in barrels of lime for 2 days with very little air, hence why it's in a barrel. Then soaking the hide again in fresh water in order to have it wash some of the lime off and rehydrate. And for the lime, we're going to be using cauldrons and barrels as like our liming station to actually treat the hide. And I'll show you how I'll do the white lime water. But for the outside, we need to put our second stage, which is the freshwater bath, which the hide will sit in for 6 hours and then be not wringed out, but squeezed to a point to allow for some of the excess water to get out so it doesn't dilute the solution. And it's made outside so it can collect rainwater that's fresh, and so it's easier to get out. Going to be using powdered snow for our lime water solution and normal water for our outside freshwater pit to wash off the hides. There we go. Now, you could use spruce buttons in a modded thing, but as you can see in vanilla, they don't survive underwater, so we're going to have to be a little bit more creative with showing that we have wood in this, because we're going to be using a weak oak tannin solution, which is chopped up and ground down oak pieces in order to show off that it's got wood tannin in the water. And now I'm going to put the stretching racks on the outside, and I have to remember how to do this because in vanilla, item frames don't play nice with fences. They can just randomly break or just not stay where you put them. Is it putting it on the outside and then lever to show that it's being stretched? No, that gives a gap, so it has to be 1 block behind. There we go. And then I just have to remember how to do the fences, because this fencing will be used as the poles to show where the hide is connected to after being treated, so it's stretched out and can be cut properly. And I'll line it up a little better. So is it all 4 corners? I'll move this over 1 so it's all in line. It's staying. It's a good sign. Yes. All sides? No, all sides make it burst. Okay. How about the top and both sides and no diagonals? Nope, it won't let you place it like that. What was the pattern? Get rid of the top. The top and the bottom, stop it. You know what, actually, so it's not floating. I think that's correct, yes. Now, moving on to the roof. I'm just going to have a little bit of night vision potion so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. I'm going to use a combination of oak and spruce to do the roof again. And I'll just plot out the roof. I know that this area has to be flat. I'll see how well I can do. So, this area on the left, at minimum, has to be raised up by 2 blocks and have a flat roof. So how to incorporate a slant into it's going to be difficult. We'll just have to see. So this is a taller building that's almost the same height as a 2-story building for just a 1-floor building. But we will need these dividers. If I bring this down 1, can I make a slant? No. this off, and then can I make a slant in between the tri-beams? Let's have a look. Actually, that's not bad. And I'll cap the corners, as well as putting a block in there as both a roof support and to allow me to build a little easier. And on here. Okay, yeah, we can put a little bit of a slant on here. It's not quite to the extent of the usual ones, but it's better than just a box of a building. And then we'll raise this up by 1 block so we can have the flat roof. There we go, on all sides. So the full production method is harvest like raw hide from an animal, scrape it to get rid of any flesh stuck to the hide and as much fur as you can, soak it in a lime barrel for 2 days with very little air to allow it to season and to prevent it from rotting afterwards. Then you have to wash it in fresh water for 6 hours. So it's usually done right at the start of a day, and then you can just come and put it in the tannin solution at the end of the day, because it has to stay in the tannin solution for about 12 hours, because it is a weaker solution. So I'll just cap the roof, because this does have to be flat with a gap. And I'll need another potion, because I picked the short one by accident. There we go. And then I'm just going to cap this, and I have to figure out what kind of pattern I want to leave in the roof. There we go. And then after you have soaked the treated hide in tannin solution for 12 hours, you put it on a rack like the ones outside, and you stretch it as far as you can with ropes. You leave it for 4 hours, scrape it and stretch it some more, and then every 3 hours, I believe, after that, you re-stretch and re-scrape until you have something about 1 meter squared, which is like 1 meter by 1 meter in every direction. And then you leave it like that for about a day so it can settle before you take it out, do a final wash or wax just to treat the outside so it's firmer, and you have a full set of leather. I think that should do it. I'm gonna add some upside down stairs here so I can hang some lanterns, because this is not the type of place you want exposed flames. And the method I'm gonna use to show wood pieces underwater and like oak logs being chopped up is the same as our wood cutting station, which is campfires that have been extinguished, so it looks like a stack of logs, of oak logs. And I'm going to put one right in the middle, so you can see that there is wood inside of the basin. And some lanterns, just to light the area up. A few on the inside. Put some stone bricks in these holes, just to fill them in. And the lanterns on the outside, to keep the area lit up. One on the high roof. So because of the smell, this would be near the sanitation most of the times, which is why it's on the same corner here, and why it's a little snug. But yes, that should be it. Clear out the inventory before the outro, and wait, the sign, because this would be an ID'd building, just to make sure. So I'm going to take some more of these hanging spruce signs I like, leather tannery, or tanner. And there we go. A full leather tanner, all built up.